Well, I would bet there's some last-minute Christmas shopping going on, that happens. Did I tell you about the couple? They've been married about 20 years, Bob and Sue, and they were at one of these big malls somewhere. She lost sight of him, so she called on the cell phone, "Bob, where are you?" And he said, "Honey, remember when we got married 20 years ago? We didn't have any money. We were struggling, and you were looking in the window of that jewelry store. You were admiring those beautiful pearl necklaces, but we didn't have any money then. We just got married." He said, "Do you remember where that jewelry store is?" She goes, "Oh, yes, Bob. I know exactly where it is." He said, "Do you think you could find your way there now?" She said, "Oh, Bobby, yes, of course." He said, "Well, go to that jewelry store." And he said, "I'll be next door. I'm having a drink at Jack Appleseed's next door, and you'll find me there." You know what I mean? So, a few years ago, there was that famous story, The Grinch That Stole Christmas. Kids liked it. But if we named the gospel for you and I, the last Sunday of Advent, I would call it the St. Joseph who saved Christmas. I mean, when you think about it, our friend St. Joseph, he saved Christmas. He was in this dilemma. He had a situation on his hands. He wasn't sure what to do. This young Mary was with child, and it was a mystery. He was going to throw in the towel. He was going to leave her just quietly, break off the engagement. She wouldn't go into his home as wife. That's what the gospel tells us. But Joseph did a little turnaround. He followed the directive of the angel of the Lord. In other words, the Spirit of God spoke to his heart, to his conscience, to his mind, in a kind of dream. Sometimes that happens to you and I. We hear the better angels speaking to us, telling us what we should do, what is right, what is bad. So Joseph takes Mary, becomes husband and wife, and of course the Christmas story unfolds for the Holy Family. But good thing Joseph had second thoughts about it. And he was a man of faith. He was afraid of the situation, but his fear turned into faith. He doubted, what's going on here? But his doubt turned into trust. So he ends up being that good and righteous man, St. Joseph. Faith and trust, the hallmarks of his life. And good thing, or else we wouldn't be getting ready for Christmas this year. So what do we learn from St. Joseph? Well, it seems that he was able to embrace the unexpected, surprises, especially the ones that had blessings. Now, you and I, we're creatures of habit. You know how we are. Our whole morning routine, half of our life, more than half of our life, we do exactly the same thing. We think the same way. We act the same way. We're creatures of habit. We don't like any unexpected surprises. They throw us off, I don't like change, you know what I mean? But Joseph was able to embrace a surprising, unexpected situation. Good thing he did. He saved Christmas. What's another thing about St. Joseph he teaches us? Well, he was a person of action. You never hear Joseph say a word in the Bible, in the Gospels. Not one word did we ever hear from St. Joseph. Think about it. But he put his faith into practice, action. He did what God guided him, directed him to do. But he never said a word about it. The Gospels don't record anything Joseph said. But he put his faith into practice, into action. There's a lot of people, sometimes you and I do it too. We talk the talk, but we don't walk the walk. Well, I know a lot of people. Oh yeah, Father, I'm Catholic. I love the Lord. I follow God. When they go to church, weddings, funerals, and Christmas, they talk the talk. They don't walk the walk, right? St. Joseph put his faith into action, practice. What else does Joseph teach us? He was a man of compassion. the gospel said he wasn't willing to expose Mary to shame. He put himself in her shoes. She was about to be shamed in the community among the Jewish faithful people. And Joseph had great compassion. Maybe you and I in the new year need to hike up our ability to be compassionate, to put ourselves in the shoes of someone who's got trouble or problems, and think of them that way. Joseph let God direct his path. Sometimes we always say, I like to do it my way, right? We all think we're Frank Sinatra, Joseph heard the angel directing him what to do, and he did it. He put his way off to the side and put God's way first. So Joseph teaches us some beautiful lessons during these last few days of Holy Advent toward Christmas. And that's another thought to share with you, is that Christmas is so very near, Wednesday, Thursday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, of course. And a lot of people I know how we think, oh, brother, yeah, I'm ready for it, but I'd like to skip it, I tell you the truth, I mean, another Christmas, same old, same old. And other people have problems, and they're discouraged, they're depressed, or, I got aches and pains, or somebody's not talking to somebody, there's a problem in the family, somebody's in trouble, things are expensive, turn on the news, it's depressing, politics are vicious and even rude most of the time. And so there's a lot of reasons for saying, I'm not in the mood for Christmas. But I would suggest, at least Wednesday and Thursday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, let's put on the mind of a child. You know how they say Christmas is for children? I like that. Let's put on the attitude, the heart, the imagination of a child for Wednesday, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day. There's a beautiful song you hear sometimes at this time of the year. It goes, Christmas time is here, children's favorite time of year. Think like a child. Wednesday and Thursday at least. Put aside all that other stuff. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, think like a child. Then Friday, after Christmas, you can be depressed all you want. Go right back to it. All right? So let's stand, everybody.